court had told him that though?
Because his statement is.
I want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
Wack 100 been yelling snitch for years, louder than anybody. But now, a leaked wiretap from 21 Savage just reopened that dusty 2005 Fed gun case, and it's looking real shady. What if Wack been working both sides this whole time? Imagine this. Dude stays loud, calling everybody a rat, but then boom, some paperwork slips, and suddenly there's a badge peeking out his wallet. Just for a second, but that 1 second might have blown up his whole game. Now, whether it's true or not, that's not even the wildest part. It's who dropped the tape that's got folks shook. Word on the street, it was 21 Savage himself who leaked it, not by accident either. People saying he'd been holding on to that clip, just waiting for the right moment. And can you blame him? Wack's been dragging his name through the mud for years, calling him a snitch, saying he cut deals with ICE to stay legal, even trying to tie him to the YSL mess. 21 mostly stayed quiet, said a little something, and kept it pushing. But if 21 really dropped that tape, that wasn't pettiness, that was straight up chess. After years of Wack sneak dissing him on Clubhouse, he clapped back without even saying a word, just pressed upload like, I'm done playing. And if you connect all the little moments over the years, it's looking like Wack's been loud on purpose, pointing fingers at everyone else so nobody peeps what he's really on. And here's where it gets even messier. This ain't the first time Wack's name got tossed around with Fed talk. Just a few months ago, Big U got hit with a RICO indictment. But before turning himself in, he went on video and straight up said, Wack 100 was working with the FBI. Now this is where it all started feeling off. Way before the RICO hit the blogs, before the feds pulled up, before a single headline dropped, Wack already knew. He hit up Big U's wife, dropped a message like 911, he need a dip. That's not a heads up, that's a setup in disguise. How you warning folks before the cuffs even click unless you knew the raid was coming, like he was in the loop. And here's the kicker. Right after Big U got booked, Wack hopped online talking wild, trying to flip the whole thing. Said Big U was the one working dirty, talking about he had a BlackBerry used to connect with the feds. But all that move did, got people real suspicious. Like seriously, how is Wack always the first to know everything? Always right in the mix, but somehow never the one getting hit? That call to Big U's wife didn't feel like concern. It felt like someone playing both sides, warning the same dude he might have just helped line up, trying to stay close to the fire without ever catching flames. That's when folks really started looking at Wack different. Maybe he ain't the street watchdog he claims to be. Maybe he's been moving real strategic for years. And the stuff happening now, it traces way back to something in 2005. Word is Wack 100 and his brother got pulled over in Texas. Nothing crazy at first, just speeding. Cops pull them over, ask the basics. Wack tells them they headed to a funeral in Oklahoma. Then they ask to search the car. Wack says, nah, so boom, they bring in the K9s and the dogs sniff out 3 loaded guns, a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol. Now this is the part that nobody can brush off. Wack and his brother, already convicted felons. So off top, that's federal time. No debating it. You don't just walk away from a case like that. That type of charge shuts down music dreams fast, but somehow, Wack made bail and slid right back to LA like it was just a traffic ticket. Then boom, 2 whole years go by. Silence, no updates, no court buzz, and out of nowhere, the whole case gets dismissed. Not for lack of evidence, not on a loophole. The court straight up wrote, dismissed in the interest of justice. Now hold up. If you've ever seen how the system really works, especially on felons caught with heat, then you already know that phrase don't show up for just anybody. That kind of line, dismissed in the interest of justice, don't just pop up in paperwork by accident. That ain't no mercy move. It usually means somebody handed something real valuable over in return. Wack tried to clean it up years later, claiming the search was illegal.
Do it. I said, yeah, I don't know nothing about this. He said, man, y'all too tight. I see Big U signature. I see other signatures. I'm reading it. And what shook me was The police issued the device to communicate with law enforcement in form of a black.
But that was straight cap. Court docs were public. There was zero mention of bad procedure, just a clean dismissal, no questions asked. But it's the timing that makes this story hit different. A couple years after that case vanished, Suge Knight, Wack's old boss from the death row days, started catching serious Fed pressure. The Hollywood Reporter even said Suge was named in a gang injunction. His whole circle got ripped apart, wiretaps, raids, names in bold print. But Wack, he was never mentioned, not once. Then boom, Main Street Crips get hit with that wild kidnapping case tied to Shaq. And in the transcripts, a name pops up, Back, leaving voicemails, making calls. And word on the street is, Back was really Wack 100. Now fast forward to today, this man all over the internet calling out Gunna, BG, Brick Baby, 21 Savage, even Jay Diggs, like he's the moral police of the streets. But let's be real for a sec. That 2005 gun case, it don't line up with the image he's pushing. You don't just walk off a Fed charge for being a felon with 3 loaded guns in the trunk, unless you're either the luckiest dude in America or you handed something over. So when folks saw that police ID flash in a new clip, almost 20 years after that gun case, it brought everything right back. Not just the badge, not just the drama, but that same burning question that's never gone away. What did Wack give up to walk away so clean? See, Wack been building his whole reputation on one word, snitch. That's his go-to insult. Anytime a rapper gets locked up or cops a plea, Wack's the first one on Clubhouse running his mouth, accusing them of folding. He did it with Gunna. Claimed he had a 2-hour interrogation tape and even threatened to leak it unless Gunna straight up confessed. He never dropped that tape, just kept running his mouth. Came for BG too, a man who did over 10 years in the pen and claimed he snitched. But here's the thing, no paperwork, none. Even BG's old cellmate came forward and said BG kept it solid, never folded once. But did that stop Wack? Nope. He stayed talking, no proof, no documents. And yeah, on the surface, it might fool folks, make it seem like he's got some street code he lives by. But the ones watching close, they started connecting dots. Wack gets the loudest when the heat's on him, every single time. He shifts the spotlight, and here's the kicker. Man, Wack records everybody. That ain't how real ones move. You don't record every convo unless you plan to use it, or worse, pass it off. And now folks are catching on. A few of the rappers Wack brought onto Clubhouse ended up in handcuffs. Loose Cannon got on there, talked a little too greasy, and boom, got hit with a case later. So now people asking, was Wack setting them up? Was he baiting folks to talk reckless just so the clips could go viral? And prosecutors could sit back and press play? It's starting to feel real calculated. From the way he stirs drama, to how conveniently those leaks drop when it helps him. It ain't all solid proof, but the pattern, hard to ignore. At some point, you gotta pause and really look at the pattern. That leaked video, yeah, it lit the match, but this fire been smoldering for years, from that 2005 gun case that disappeared like magic, to him knowing about the RICO before the feds even made a move, to the wiretap name drops, the badge flashes, and how he records everybody like it's normal. This ain't just messy, it's calculated. And the more folks rewind the timeline, the more it starts looking like Wack's been hiding in plain sight the whole time. Because if all the people he's calling snitches were really moving foul like he claims, there'd be paperwork. But somehow, the only one who keeps showing up when charges disappear and people get jammed is him. And now that the streets are watching closer, everything Wack says is getting side-eyed. The way he moves, too smooth, too prepared, like he's always 10 steps ahead, but never takes a hit himself. Every time chaos breaks out, somehow he's untouched, just commenting, narrating, and recording like he's not part of it. But real ones are starting to ask, is he documenting the drama or directing it? Think about it, how you always got the tape right before it's needed, how your name stays around cases, but your name never ends up in them. Wack been painting everybody else as the villain, while playing victim, coach, and cameraman at the same time. At this point, the streets aren't just confused, they're suspicious. Because when it comes to Wack 100, there's always that one question nobody can fully shake. How's he still untouched after all these years in the dirt? People with less heat got buried by the system, fast. But Wack, he stays on live, stirs beef, name drops folks in open cases, and nothing ever sticks. Now with that leaked badge moment and whispers about sealed records, old cases, and missing paperwork, folks ain't just calling him loud, they're calling him dangerous. And if 21 Savage really leaked that tape, that wasn't just revenge, it was a warning shot. Because maybe Wack's not the street soldier he claims to be. Maybe he's something else entirely. And the only reason he ain't got burned is because he's the one holding the lighter. Whether he's exposed or the feds already know too much, it's him. And that's what makes this different. It's not just about proving Wack's a fed, it's about what it means if he really is. What does that say about the stories we trust, the people we uplift, the platforms we give power to? Folks laugh about it online, but it ain't funny no more. Not when real lives, real time, and real cases are getting twisted up behind all this backdoor drama. Wack's been calling everybody a snitch. But now, all eyes on him, people asking, was the loudest dude in the room wired from day one? Because if he was, this whole game been rigged. And the scariest part? He's still out here talking. So smash that like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe. GossUp stays exposing what others won't.